Hi, I'm Blair Palmer and I am going to help you take more brilliant gambles in your life. What do I mean by brilliant gambles? Well, give you a few ideas. Over the last 20 years, I've left my corporate job, my job at the BBC, and started my own business. That was 20 years ago. That was the start of it all. I've moved from the city to the countryside. I've renovated a house. I have had a child. I have traveled with my daughter. When she was 11 years old, we went traveling for 7 months in an RV with our dogs. We have bought a small holding, which is where we live now. We've done lots and lots of things in our lives that are a bit of a gamble, and now I'm helping other people to do the same. I coach people who want to take more gambles, who want to suck the marrow out of life. Does that sound good? And what is the biggest gamble that you can take? Well, it's leaving your job, leaving your corporate 9 to 5, escaping the rat race and doing something else instead. And as you know, I've done that. I've helped thousands of people to do that too. But I don't want it to be a gamble for you. It might feel like a gamble, but I want it to be a safe choice, as safe as it can possibly be in this topsy-turvy world that we live in. So in this video today, I'm going to give you a few tips about how to know whether it's time to leave your corporate 9 to 5 job and do something else for a living instead. Clue number 1 that it's time to quit that corporate job is that you don't feel that you're making a difference. It's so frustrating when you do a job that you're giving your absolute all to and you can't actually see how you're making a difference. Try as you might, there doesn't seem to be anything certainly meaningful that you're doing. So you're going to a lot of meetings, you're getting great reviews from your boss, you're getting a pay rise maybe at the end of the year, but it doesn't feel to you like there's any meaning in that. There doesn't seem to be any impact that actually is important to you. So if that is the case for you and you're really starting to feel that all of that investment of time and energy and all that expertise isn't really making any difference, maybe it's time to get out. Second indicator that maybe it's time to do something different with your professional life is that you cannot seem to achieve balance. No matter whether you go part-time or you work flexibly or you try to do some remote working or you try to be really strict about leaving the office on time, there just doesn't seem to be enough time for the rest of your life. You are out of balance. And this goes for trying to balance your mind as well. Maybe you're doing a fair amount of meditation, maybe you're doing some yoga, maybe you're taking walks. All the things that you're told are going to help you to feel more in balance, but it's just not working. You have to make a much more fundamental change to the relationship that you have with work in order to find that balance. And if this applies to you, maybe it's time to go. Thirdly, and really importantly, you are pretty confident that you could make money outside of the corporate world. And it's all very well talking about, oh, I want to have more work-life balance and wouldn't it be great to work for myself? But you have to believe and have some evidence that you can make money outside of being an employee for someone else. So if you've got a really good idea, if you've tested that idea out and you have some evidence that people would be willing to pay you out in the open market to do this thing for them, and you're really confident that there is a need, that there is a demand, that people are going to put their hands in their pockets and pay you to do this thing, then that's a pretty good reason to think about getting out of the 9 to 5. Number 4, there are things about working for someone else that wouldn't change even if you got a new job somewhere else. Things that just don't work for you. Maybe you really don't like being told what to do by a boss. Maybe you don't like the structure of work. You don't like having to be accountable to a lot of other people, having to get buy-in for every little thing you have to do, all the meetings that you go to. That kind of corporate 9 to 5 sort of working hours just doesn't work for you. And it wouldn't matter where you worked, if you were working for someone else, these things would be true. For me, I just really couldn't see myself being in an institution any longer. I worked for the BBC and it's very institutional and I'm not an institutional person. I was starting to be a little bit of a disruptive employee. So I knew that even if I went and worked somewhere else, it just would not be a good fit for me. Next, do you feel a calling to do something else with your life? Now, treat this one a little bit with caution because it's not absolutely essential for you to have a deep sense of purpose around this new business, this new venture that you want to do outside of the corporate 9 to 5. Not everyone does. You can have a perfectly successful business, a lovely lifestyle without changing the world. But if you do feel this sense of calling, if you do think I'm here for a particular purpose and right now the way that I'm working, the job that I do, the profession I'm in, I'm not able to live to that purpose, then that's a really good indication that you need to do something else instead. Number 6 is that you feel that you could use your talents in another way. Here you are, you've got all this experience, you've been working in the corporate world for 10, 20, maybe 30 years, you've got a huge amount of experience and expertise. Maybe you have other skills that you're currently not paid for, but that you could leverage on the open market. So maybe you're an accountant, but what you're actually brilliant at is connecting people. You're a brilliant networker. That is something that you could turn into a business. So if you think to yourself, I've got all these talents and I could sell those on the open market, I could do something else with them, then that's a pretty good indication that you could start looking at getting out of the rat race and doing something else instead. And number 6, you are willing to give up all the advantages of working for someone else. Now, this is really important because it's easy to overlook those advantages because you're so used to them. I'm talking about the regular salary. I'm talking about having a place to go every day. I'm talking about having colleagues. I'm talking about having an IT help desk. I'm talking about the pension and the relative security of a job. If you're going to leave, then you have to be really confident that you can do without those things, that either you can find another way to create a network, a place to go if you think you need it, some structure in your life, or that you don't need those things because you are going to be giving up a lot. You have to feel like what you'll be gaining in exchange is more valuable to you. If, having heard these signs that it's time to get out of the corporate 9 to 5, you think, yes, there's something in this, I want to do it, I want to take it seriously, then hang around here. Subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be sharing lots of how-to videos, not only the business setup stuff and how to actually get out and how to create this successful business, but more importantly, actually, the parallel journey. It isn't all about the stuff you're going to do. You're about to embark on a big personal development journey that is going to change you from the inside. You're going to learn things about yourself you never knew. You're going to come up against all the ways that you get in your own way. And on this channel, I'm going to be sharing lots of advice and tips and resources to help you to get out of your own way. So the first thing to do is to subscribe, and in the notes below I have put a link to a blog on my website which is a summary of everything I've been talking about today. So if you didn't manage to take notes, that's fine. I've written it all down for you. So head over to abrilliantgamble.com right now and have a little look at that blog, and then come back here next time I've released a video to help you escape the rat race and take a brilliant gamble of your own.